Today on Cooking Wild, we're going to make fried crappie fillets with hush puppies and an apple pie monkey bread. We're going to wash that down with a Coop Saturday Siren Pilsner. So stick around because we're cooking wild. So I've got my crappie and it's cleaned and filleted. And I've got my cornmeal mix. I am going to add some Cajun or Creole seasoning. I know that seems like a lot, but when it's mixed in here, it won't be. This is what I'm gonna use to put my crappie fillets in. Get that mixed up really well. Okay, so my crappie, I'm actually going to, I've only seen a few other people do this before, but I am going to dredge my fish in mustard before I actually roll them in the cornmeal mixture. So I'm going to get some of my fillet pieces out, just kind of lay them into this mustard. I'm going to roll them around in there and get them really good and coated in the mustard. And I'm going to go ahead and just coat them in my cornmeal mix. Get them good and coated. I'm going to lay them in my pan for frying here in just a few minutes after I get them all. Of all the fish that is available here in Oklahoma, crappie is probably my favorite. I love it. So I got interested in cooking, actually, introduced to it as a small child. Growing up, I had 3 sisters and 1 brother, and my family didn't have a lot of money, and my mom cooked every meal at home, and a lot of it was home cooked, homemade, everything. So when she was in the kitchen, she made all of us girls go in and help her. Whether if we weren't big enough to do one thing, we were doing another. She would have us stirring a pot or peeling potatoes. Whatever she needed help with, we were to stay in the kitchen with her and help her throughout the course of cooking. And that's how I learned to cook. And then as we got a little bit older, my mom opened a couple of different restaurants in the small town that we lived in. And we worked for my mom. We washed dishes, we waited tables, we cooked whatever she needed at the restaurant, just like at home, we were there to help. Not to exclude my brother, because he is a phenomenal cook. He learned how to cook just like the rest of us. He probably wasn't ever forced to do dishes like we were, but he helped as well. And as a result, all of my mom's kids can cook, and I've just grown up around it and I love to do it. I have 4 children of my own, and I love to cook for them and my family and all of my friends. And my kids love it that I cook, and I'm incorporating and instilling that in raising them and teaching them how to cook. And my girls are 18, they just graduated high school, and they are really good cooks. They'll send me pictures of things that they cook, and I'm just really proud that they have carried on the tradition, so to speak, that my mom started, because in this day and age, there's not a lot of the younger generation that really knows how to cook, so.
You are called to be bold, to live out loud. to make the most out of every moment. You share these moments with your friends and family, side by side, across town and across the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection. Coverage, speed, service, the latest technology. These aren't options. They're not special offers. They are obligations to you. We believe in building a community, your community. Bravado Wireless.
You are called to be bold. You have a right to the best wireless service, high-speed internet, and customer service at a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
We have our crappie fillets ready to go. Put them in the mustard and roll them in the cornmeal mix. And I'm gonna mix up my hush puppies. This is just the sweet cornmeal mix because that's just what my children prefer. You can use the unsweetened, whatever is your preference. Like I've mentioned before, my kids are really picky when it comes to seeing onions in anything. So I've incorporated them in a lot of things by either mincing them or I'll use onion powder. So in this, I'm just going to use onion powder to give it the onion flavor without the mouthfeel of the onion. So I'm gonna mix the onion powder in here real well. And then I'm gonna add 1/3 cup of milk and a large egg. This mixed up good, and we'll be ready to head out to the deep fryer to fry our fish and our hush puppies.
We were there when your grandparents made their first telephone call. We were there when your parents were able to choose what to watch on cable. And now, we are here for you, providing high-speed internet service to your family. There is one thing we know for sure. No matter what happens next, Cross is here to keep you connected. Cross, serving families like yours, today and tomorrow.
You are called to be bold, to connect in your home, to your community, and to the world. From your land, we are Bravado Wireless. We are your high-speed internet provider based right here in Eastern Oklahoma. With the latest technology, we offer coverage in more underserved areas than ever, with 4G LTE speeds and no installation needed. We're faster and more reliable than the competition, and at $59.99 a month, we're more affordable too. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
So we have our fish and our hush puppies that we finished up, and I'm gonna get ready and make dessert. We are going to make an apple pie monkey bread, and we're gonna start with refrigerated biscuits. You can use any kind that you want, really. This is just what I had in the refrigerator. So this has the little pieces of butter in them. And I just take my refrigerated biscuits and I cut them into 4s, so just quarter them up. And a recipe calls for 2 cans of refrigerated biscuits. These are the really big Grands biscuits that puff up real big. So I might not use 2 full cans because of the dish that I'm baking them in. You typically put this in a bump pan, but I don't have a bump pan, and this is my makeshift bump pan that I use when I'm making recipes that require a bump pan, and it's just a pie pan with a Pyrex small glass dish turned upside down, and I've sprayed it good with cooking spray, and I will just put all of my biscuit dough around it, and it serves the purpose of a bump pan if you don't have one. So I'm gonna finish quartering up my biscuit dough, and then I'm going to put some cinnamon and sugar, 1 cup of sugar per 2 teaspoons of cinnamon in a Ziploc baggie. Mix it up well, and then I will put this biscuit dough in the Ziploc baggie and shake it around until they're covered real well. You don't want to do all your dough at the same time because it's hard to get the cinnamon sugar distributed evenly. So maybe 8 or 10 pieces at a time. So about got it all quartered up. Then we will put our cinnamon and sugar. We stood in a gallon baggie. Have 1 cup of white sugar and 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. Get that mixed together real well. And then I'm going to take probably 6 or 8 pieces of my biscuit dough at a time. And coat it really well. And I'm just going to place these in the bottom of my dish and add some more. Once we have our first layer of biscuit dough covered and in your pan, I am going to pipe in some apple pie filling. It's just canned apple pie filling. I took it and mashed it up with a potato masher, just so it's gonna pipe out more evenly and it's not as chunky. And I'm just gonna dab it in here. Just make sure that I get a little bit of apple kind of all around. Set that aside, and I'm gonna do some more of my biscuits. And we're just gonna continue to layer it. And it already looks good enough to eat, and it's not even baked yet. Okay. Now I'm gonna squeeze on some more of my apple pie filling. Because this dish is not quite as deep as a regular bundt pan, I'm not going to use the 2 full cans of the biscuit dough. I am going to do just a few more. I also make a pizza monkey bread, the same pan and everything. I do my biscuits the exact same way. except for I toss them in seasonings and oil. And I just mix in a lot of the pizza ingredients and cheese, and it's really good too. Okay, so I've got this ready, and now I am going to make my brown sugar and butter, and I'm going to melt it on in a saucepan on the stove, and then I'm going to pour it over the top, and then it's going to go in the oven for 350 degrees.
Other wireless companies need 4-page brochures to explain plans that are too complicated and cost way too much. We are not like the others. We are Bravado Wireless. We offer 1 line of unlimited talk, text, and 4G LTE data for only $40 per month, with no minimum number of lines and no hidden fees. This is your year to be bold, connect fast at the best price. We live where you live, and we are proud to be a part of your community here in Eastern Oklahoma. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
So I'm going to make my brown sugar sauce that I'm going to pour over the top of our monkey bread. And it's just 1 cup of brown sugar, packed, and 1 stick of butter. And I'm going to melt that down and let it cook till it's good and melted. Once it's good and melted, I'm going to just take it and just pour it over the top of my monkey bread before I put it in the oven. Hope you enjoyed this episode. To view more episodes, go to bravadowireless.com. I'm Amber, and we've been cooking wild.